Okay, so I'm now, there you go. We're now recording and you can hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm going to share this screen. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to show you how to find the file that you need to have access to, okay?
Okay.
So you can see this okay?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to something, it's going to be on your X drive, okay? Your X drive will look a little different than mine, but you're going to go to something that's called Stroke Distinction. Okay. Once you go to Stroke Distinction, you're going to go to something that's, this one, it's called Patient Experience Survey. Okay. All the information you need about patient experience surveys is contained within this file. Okay. So I recommend you, when you get that, you can from right here, if you don't know how to do that already, you can right click on it and you can pin it to quick access, and then it will automatically appear on the side of any of your drives when you open them. You'll always see it here. Okay.
Thanks.
So once you get into this, what I have in here is first is this thing, it's called Report Out Duties. This is for multimedia, for you and for team. Could you put yourself on mute?
Yes.
Just for the recording? Okay. If you need to ask me a question, just like raise your hand or something and I will, or just like take your mute off to let me know. Like whenever you have a question, just take your mute off to let me know. How about that? Okay. Okay. So, so then what you're going to do then is you're going to go to Report Out Duties. This is just the list of what the duties are. So I already went through this with everybody. This first portion, this is for multimedia. This is what they're going to do. So once a month, multimedia, it's Denise Harp. She's going to download and she's going to email you the stroke patient experience responses. They'll be right from SurveyMonkey. They'll be raw data for you. Okay. She's going to do that the first business day of each month. Okay. And then this is what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be discussing your role. Okay. Your role is you're going to prepare the patient experience report for stroke and TIA patients. So we're going to make your goal for doing that because Denise will send it the first day. Your goal will be the second business day of each month. Are you clear so far? You can have to take your mute button off to let me know.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for how to prepare the report, the steps are written here. Okay. So 1 to 5. So first you're going to download the patient experience responses, the raw data. It's going to be not sent directly to you. It's going to be sent to that district stroke center email inbox. You know how we set up a general inbox for your department? Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where you're going to pull it from. You're going to pull it right from that inbox, okay? Then after you've pulled it, you're going to save it, save that Excel file to what we just said, stroke distinction under the patient experience surveys. You're going to save it there. Once it's been saved there, you're going to either watch this video or you're going to look at the directions that are built into the Excel document for how to add that raw data. We're making the video right now. And then once you've completed your report, you're going to send it to Denise and to Teresa. Once you've sent it to Denise and Teresa, and you'll just update it to whatever the month is, like it's currently August 2022. So let's say you're doing the September one, you'll change the date to September 2022, send it to Denise and Teresa, And then the old raw data that you retrieved, you're just going to put it in the old data folder. To save time, what I'm going to recommend that we do is that you're only going to add the responses from the month you're working on. Looks like you have a question.
Sorry, I just want to clarify. Like you said, Denise, as in my manager, DSC manager. Right? Not
Denise,
Denise.
no, I mean Denise. It's Denise St. Louis, right? Is she
St.
who
Louis,
you
okay.
report to? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, because there's so many Denises. We have a Denise here. Yeah, you're not going to send it to Denise Hart. We're going to send it to here. So
My
Denise,
manager.
yeah. So Denise, the district stroke center manager, and Teresa, the VP.
Perfect.
What then afterwards, Denise is going to take that information. She'll do stuff with it. And she, once every 3 months, she's going to take that information and she's going to actually report it out at the quarterly stroke distinction team meeting. And then they're going to go through it and look for opportunities, just so you kind of know that full outline. So are you clear with that?
Yes.
Okay. So then, again, like I said, so if you're ever not sure, there's the report out duty. So what I recommend you do is the same thing I recommended to Denise Harp, is that on the second business day, roughly of every month, to put a little reoccurring meeting in your calendar that says prepare stroke distinction survey. So whether you want to do that, whatever day you want to do it, should be like maybe the second Tuesday of every month. You put a little note in, give yourself a half an hour. I don't picture it taking longer than that for you to prepare this report. Sound good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah, so Denise Harp has already done that, so she'll remember to do it. If you don't get it, if it's a second day and you're like, oh, well, I don't have this report yet, you know that you can contact Denise to give it to you, okay? Okay, so moving forward, those are your report out duties. Directions and examples I already put here for you. I've already prepared them. I already put here to the, this is the report that you're going to just update every month. So right now it says August 2022. And when you update it next time, you'll just recall it September 2022, right? And you'll just continue to update it. So now I'm going to show you how to pull the information. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here for a second. So your inbox will look different than mine, obviously, but I have this set for you already. So we can walk through the steps in order. Before I start doing that, I want to also show you something. This is what the report that you're going to be generating will look like. Okay, I already did August for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, if you were to print it, you wouldn't need 17 pages. You would only need like to print page 1, but that's the report. So if I've already sent this to Denise, so she already has it, but Denise would open this up and she would only need page 1. And if she was going to like present this at a meeting or like bring it to people to talk about, as you can see, it's already set up to print really pretty. So you don't have to worry about formatting. It's already pre-formatted and pretty for you. Okay. So just so you're aware. What you care most about is you're going to do all your raw data work from this tab. This is your tab. This raw data tab is your tab. You do all your work in it. Once you've prepared your report, you would then go to patient experience report, and you're going to drop this information into that, into the report. Okay. So directions 1 is here. It tells you your first steps of directions. It gives you your what you need to do. And it gives you a picture of, if you did it correctly, yours should look something like mine. Okay, it should look something like what you see below. Once you're done directions 1 and yours looks like mine, then you would go to directions 2, which is basically delete a number of cells. And I say delete all the cells that are red. You're going to delete all the red cells. Okay. Then once you've deleted all the red cells, you're going to go here. This is what yours should look like now. All the red cells are gone. And then I tell you to add a couple of rows, and I tell you to do a quality check. And then I tell you how to copy it. Okay. So if you follow all these steps exactly, you'll be able to like go through those 3 sets of steps. And then you'll be able to literally just drop it into this folder. like you would drop it in right here, okay? Are you clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to close this for now. We're going to pretend we're starting this from the beginning, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, oh, look it, there's the report from Denise. Oh, she sent us our information. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to drop it into this folder, okay? I'm going to rename it. We're going to pretend this is September's. It's not. We're going to pretend it's September's, okay? Sep raw data. I'm going to call it September's raw data, September 2022. Okay. So then I don't mix it up. So now I'm going to remove this. We don't need this anymore. I'm going to open this information. This is what it looks like in its raw form. Okay. It doesn't look like anything like what we want it to look like, but that's all the raw information that's included in this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have this open, and then I'm going to open up the one we want to prepare. I'm going to make a copy of this in case I screw something up. So I'm just going to paste a copy of it. And like we said, we're pretending this is August, September. So I'm going to call this my September report. Okay. So I'm going to like get rid of this and put it under raw data and old reports, because we're going to pretend August is done and we're starting September. So I'm going to open up this September report, my good report. I'm going to go to the raw data tab. Now my raw data tab says, transfer the raw data from SurveyMonkey Excel file, and that's this file right here, into this tab via the following steps. So one, I need to highlight the data I want, then right click copy. And then part B is I need to, in this tab, I need to paste it using a special paste thing. It's called transpose. This is what it looks like. You could zoom this in if you need to see it a little better. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. That's what transpose looks like. So you have to paste it doing transpose, or it will not post right. Because as you see, I have the questions along the sides, where this raw data has the questions at the top. That's why we have to do it that way, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all this information. I'm going to right click, or I'm just going to copy it. It doesn't matter how you copy it. Then I'm going to go to this one, go to my raw data tab, just like it shows. I'm going to go on this first cell. It says A2 is a cell to go on. So I'm going to go to A2. I'm going to right click, and there's the transpose button. You might not already have it like listed up here, because these are the common ones I use. If you don't have it listed here, you can go here. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. If you don't have it here, you can go to paste special and go to paste special here, and or like, sorry, right here, and it's there as well. And when you scroll over it, it literally says transpose. So I'm going to push that button. Wow, there's all my information. I lost all of my, that wasn't cool, because I actually lost my formatting. I'm going to actually post it here for a second. And then I'm just going to grab that and post it back over. The reason why is because now that I have it transposed, you see how I lost all of this formatting? We don't want to lose that. And then I'll just delete that one. Okay, so your information's there, still looks crappy. Okay, so we just transposed it. So then it says complete the steps listed in directions 1, and then I'm going to complete the steps listed in direction 2 and then 3. So let's go to direction 1 just to see what those directions are. So it says for rows 11 and 12, we need to transpose the content from 11 and 12 into row 11. So for rows 11 and 12, we need to put everything in row 11 and 12 into row 11. So I'm going to go, oops, sorry. I'm going to go to rows 11 and 12. Here's the rows 11 and 12. So any information that's listed here I'm going to put there. I can't do that. I just see that this has all the stuff listed, not where I want it to be, which is a problem. So I'm going to have to change that direction. So basically it's question 11 here. No, that's right, 11 and 12. So see here how it says patient, patient, and patient.
Yes,
Do you
I
see
see
this?
that.
Okay. So these are actually, I'm gonna switch this up for you a bit so that it goes like this. And you never, I don't want you, oh, okay. I'm gonna pause this. Just 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what the duties are for doing, creating the patient experience survey for stroke and TIA report out to send out. So the report out duties are listed here. It's you access it by going to the X Drive, then going to stroke distinction, and then going into the patient experience surveys. All the information that you need is here. There's directions and examples up here. And the report is here. If you want the steps for what to do, they're listed right here. So if this is for the stroke report prep lead, this is something we're going to ask you to make a calendar, reoccurring calendar reminder for yourself on the second business day of each month. Your steps are listed here for you to go through. To gather the information, what you're going to do is you're going to download the patient experience Survey Monkey raw report that's going to be sent to you once a month. And then you're going to download it here. As you can see, I already downloaded it and I already numbered it, named it September 2022 raw data. And I already started for the patient experience report. I already relabeled it for September 2022. So with that being said, this is our new report. Pretend none of that's there. And I'm going to walk you through the steps. Okay, so you're going to open up in this patient experience survey raw data. I'm going to copy all this information. So I only want the September information. This is August, but we're going to pretend it's September information. Oh, it's taking forever. Okay, all the way to the end. I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to go here. It's already there. We're going to pretend it's not already there. Okay, I'm going to come here. I'm going to go to, it says in this tab in B2, I'm going to drop the information. Oops. I'm going to paste it by transposing it. So I click the transpose button. There's the information. It's been added. The next directions are written here about what you need to do. So, so for row 11 and 12, I'm going to add the information. So row 11 and 12, it says transpose the content from 11 and 12 into row 11. So I'm going to go to 11 and 12. I'm going to transpose any information. And as you can see, there isn't any information, so we don't need to even worry about it. So we'll go to the next step. It says for rows 14 and 15, transpose it into 14. So here's 14 and 15. I need to transpose any information that's here. As you can see, there's information here. Oops. I'm going to get rid of this now too, because we don't need this one. So I have this information still in hospital. I'm going to copy it. And it says others, please specify. I'm just going to drop it right there. And then I can delete that. So we only have it in row 14. So I transposed everything in 11, everything that was in 12 is now in 11, and everything that was in 14 and 15 is now in that spot. Then it says for rows 105 to 109, it says only keep the numbers or NA. So we're going to go to 105 and 109, and we're only going to keep the number or NA, which means you're going to remove anywhere where it says happy face or and change it to like number 1. So 109, as you can see, they're already highlighted for you here in orange. Okay. So again, I'm just going to delete neutral face. I'm going to delete sad face. So all that information is there, and I keep the NA. So now we're good with that. So it said for what to do for 105 to 109, we're done that. So then it says, should be step 5. For each of the feelings questions, consolidate all of the feelings into the first feeling rows. So I'm going to go to the, the feeling questions, which are all here. You can see all the feelings. Yes, it has the typo of hopeful, but I already fixed that typo in the report for future ones. So I need to see how these rows are blue. We're going to put all the feeling question answers in the blue rows. Okay. So I have grateful. I'm looking at everything here. Okay. Everything here we want to delete, and we want it to all go into these rows. So I'm going to make sure all this information is only in row 16. So I'm going to go grateful, hopeful, there was satisfied, safe, embarrassed. You could copy and paste it if you want instead. I just find it easier to do this. Worried. And that's it. I'm just checking something. Yeah, that's something else. Okay, so I put those all in here so I can delete these. I make sure I had them all. You would double check this to make sure that you did it right before you delete it, hopefully. And then same with here, grateful. I just need to add hopeful. And then here, there was nothing. So I'm going to just say none. I'll just put none. You could leave it as not blank, or you could just say none. So that's done for this one. Oops, actually I was wrong here. See how I missed this one right here? So it says still waiting. I'm just going to copy that. This is a very interesting feeling. It's not really a feeling, but this is what the person put. They put staff good, patients bad. So I'm just going to copy that right up here. Okay, now I can get rid of those. That's why you do a double check, so that if you miss them, you can make sure that it's good, that you can double check. So again, here, I'm going to be doing all of this stuff. I'm just going to do that so we don't miss them again. So I have grateful, hopeful, satisfied, supported, safe, prepared, disrespected, and that's it. Here, there is nothing at all, so I'm going to say none. Here, it's supported, prepared, worried. Okay. Supported, prepared, worried. Yep. Good. Delete. Grateful, hopeful. Oopsie, I misspelled satisfied. Satisfied, supported, safe, prepared, disrespected. Okay. Get rid of those. And then here we have, I noticed those are the same ones. It says grateful, hopeful, satisfied, supported. So I can steal those. I just have to add safe or valued. So it says valued goes between supported and safe. And then they also had prepared. Okay. And then here, there was nothing. So I'm going to say none. You don't have to say that. Like I said, you could just leave it blank, but then I know for sure. And then I go here again. I'm just going to do that for all these questions. There's just 2 left. So we see the same thing: grateful, hopeful, satisfied, supported, valued, safe, prepared. And look at, that's exactly what they put here. So I can just copy and paste that right to here. It's exactly the same. And then this one: grateful, hopeful, satisfied, supported, valued, safe, prepared. They had the same thing. So I'm just going to copy that here as well, because it's exactly the same. Okay, that's it for the feelings questions. So let's go back and see what else I needed to transpose. That was for the feeling questions. So for the feelings questions, consolidate all the feelings into each of the feeling rows. As you can see, if you forget, rows are colored blue to make it easier. And I actually listed them and what to transpose into. But like I said, the rows to transpose into are blue. And these ones were, already said that. Never mind. So those directions are there. And then it says, see example of what it should look like below. And I cannot because I deleted it. So I'm going to, I'll just copy that right there for you so you can see this example. There you go. So there's the example back. Since oh, none. See, I did a typo. Okay, so that's good. So now I'm done that. What do I do next? It says complete the directions, directions to in the delete tab. So we go to the delete tab and it lists all the things to delete. It says, delete the red cells below the entire row, not just the column. You must complete the transposing directions and double check accuracy before you start deleting stuff. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is we're going to just delete all the red stuff. So I'm going to go to the raw data field here. I'm going to start to delete everything that's red. Delete. 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 You can see why we transpose the information because we're deleting all that stuff. We only want the feelings to be in one row, not 20. Delete. 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 Okay, so I deleted them all. Let me just double check there's nothing else. Delete all the red cells, not just the columns yet. So I did that. Okay, so let's see what we do next. So now it says complete steps listed in direction 2. Again, we have a double check accuracy there and check that it's that you completed it correctly. Then it says step 4 says complete the directions 3 stuff. That's adding and pasting things. Do you have any questions up to this point?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So we're going to go to directions 3. As you can see, that's why I keep this raw data template. Always make sure you make yourself a new raw data template every single time you start this work, just so that you, because as you can see, now that I deleted stuff, your raw data template's not going to look the same as what it did to begin with. So you always have a new fresh one to use right here. So feel free to always grab this. Always start on this one, okay? So then I'm going to go back here. So now it says to go to directions 3. So I'm going to look at that. So for directions 3, this is what mine should look like. So I'm going to do a quick double check for quality. I should have up to, well, you're not going to have up to 44 yet, but so I'll do that after. Just ignore what I just said. So it says for each of the feeling questions, add 2 rows after each feelings why question. Okay, so when it says, see how it says, click, you put in the responses, so like we had like grateful, hopeful, satisfied. Underneath is the tell us why. So like if you mess that up, you can literally just know it's here. I'll just show you an example. So the click on the words that best describe. So all of these feelings questions, see, these are all the feeling questions. Beneath each feelings question is these are all the tell us why. So what we want to do, just to go back there again, is it says after the feelings question. So after each feelings questions, that's where I'm going to add 2 rows. Okay. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to start adding these. So I'm going to go after here. So if you want to do that, you click here and you go insert, insert. And then after the next feeling question, insert. Oops, sorry. Insert. After the next one, insert, insert. After the next one, insert, insert. And after the next one, insert, insert. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is go back here. I'm going to literally copy this for myself into those spots. And as you can see, we're starting to make ours look pretty similar to what the final thing is going to look like. Okay, so going back, so it said, add the 2 feeling rows, and then it says first added row is for the positive feelings, the second is for the negative. Like I suggest you literally copy and paste it there, okay? Now it says you need to manually enter the number for both the positive and the negative feelings, okay? So how you do this is I'm going to make this bigger so I can see these feelings better and I can count. You're literally just counting. So, so here is the feeling question. So if you look at it, you have grateful would be positive, that's a 1. Hopeful would be positive, that's a 2. Satisfied would be positive, that's 3. Safe would be positive, that's 4. Embarrassed, disrespectful, and worried are all negative. So we have 4 positives and 3 negatives. So I say 4 positives, 3 negatives. Okay, so we have 4 and 3 there. For the next one, I'm going to look at, for this one, I'm looking up here. So grateful, hopeful, still waiting. So still waiting, when people do a free text, like when people write in their own feelings, still waiting to me sounds like a negative feeling. Like if you're still waiting, that would be negative. So I'm going to decide in my critical judgment that the still waiting TIA clinic appointment, I'm going to call that a negative feeling. So I'm going to say there's grateful and hopeful are 2 positives. Still waiting is 1 negative. So 2 positives, 1 negative. 2 positives, 1 negative. Then we're going to go to this one. It says staff good, patients bad. Again, that is a little bit indirect. So again, I'm just going to make a guess. Like I would say at the end of the day, as a hospital, we can't impact what a patient does per se, but them saying staff are good, I'm going to say is a positive and patients being bad as a negative. So I'm going to say 1 negative, 1 positive. Okay. So then we do the same thing with the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 positives, 1 negative. 6 positives, 1 negative. Here, there was none. It's easy. It's 0 and 0. Or you can just leave it blank. Supported, prepared, worried. That's 2 positives, 1 negative. You go down to this one, grateful, hopeful, satisfied, supported, valued. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positives, 0 negatives. 7 to 0. None again, so I'm just putting 0. It's really easy, and none here. So 0, 0. Next one. Grateful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, 7 and 0. And there's nothing written here, and there's nothing written here. Again, I'm looking up at this spot here to check. I find it easiest to check up using this box up here. That helps you to know that there's nothing there. So again, I'm just going to double check that. Nothing, nothing. So I'm going to put a whole bunch of 0. Is that clear? Oh, there's one more to do. So this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 0. Nothing and nothing. Okay, so so that's it for that. So let's see if what's next. So it says we manually entered the numbers. It says to do a quality check. It says once the above is completed, there should be 2 to 44 with data info. So let's just double check that. Does it go to 44 with data? There technically is. It's just as you can see, some of these rows don't have anything in them. And another good measure is to look here. These should all be like numbers or NAs. So like that's all matching good. So it looks good to me. So I'm going to go back and say, okay, so now it says to copy data. So it says from rows 2 to 44. And it says don't include columns A or B. So I'm going to just go back here. In our case, I'm going to change that. We're going to say don't include column A. Let me change that direction for you. Don't include column A because we only copied over the information we need. So don't include column A. So you're going to transport it. So it says to copy the data, but if you look here, it says do not paste yet. Okay, so we're not going to paste this just yet. So I'm going to copy it from 1 to 44. And I want these 3 dates. So I'm going to push the copy button. I'm not going to paste yet, though. I'm going to go back and see my next direction. My next direction says that in the patient experience tab, which is this one, that main report, it says right click and paste this time only the values. And that it looks like this, values. So I'm only going to paste the values. So I'm going to go to the patient experience tab. I'm going to click right here, starting at patient 4. And I am going to right click. I'm going to go here. This is values. I click that and then we dropped it. I know this says August, but we are going to simply pretend that this actually says September 2022. It really doesn't, but I don't have a September 2022 report, so we're just pretending. Okay, so you wouldn't normally change those dates, you'd leave it. So now I have the information added here. And it should pretty much look like this. As you can see, it did some formatting. It looks like some places here. It did actually format this appropriately. I don't know. See how I did that? Did you notice that at first it looked like it wasn't formatted properly? And then I just literally clicked out into any other tab and back in it. I don't know why it does it. It's a fluke, but it is formatted properly. There's a couple of things that I notice are a little messy, like here, like it bothers me that they're not all in line. So I'm just going to like line them up. But basically our report is done. So what I'm going to do is, because I want to make this a little bit easier for Teresa and Denise, I'm going to take this information, I'm just going to spread it out a little bit, make it a little more neat and clean. And it's basically ready to go. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to make sure that I save it. Okay, so now it's saved and it's ready for me to send. So then, oops, here's the report that I just saved. It's 154. I just saved this one right here. That's my raw data report. I'm going to make sure I don't accidentally send anybody this raw data report. So I have a file here called raw data and old reports. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to drop it into this old report here. And now it's ready to go. So, so now I'm going to send it to Denise St. Louis, who is, because she's the district stroke coordinator manager, our district stroke program center manager. And I'm going to send it to Teresa because she's the VP of that program. So I'm going to make an email. I'm going to send, and I'm going to send this them the report. So I'm going to say, Denise and Teresa, okay, and I'm going to send a report saying your patient experience report for the month is attached, right? And then you could just add your signature, whatever you normally do for your emails. And I cancel. And I'll put a little hi with a happy face. Okay, so that, and then you would just send it to them. So I'm gonna just take that away too. So I'm ready to send this. I'm not gonna actually send it to them because this is, it really doesn't have September data in it, nor is it September yet. So I would send it though, okay? So that's basically the entire process. Do you have any questions?
So I'm starting with like September 2nd, I'll start and actually do the real August report.
Yeah, you can when Denise sends it at the beginning. So like just to troubleshoot, if you don't receive that report, so like you should have this in your calendar invite. So like just to make sure that like if Denise Harp has it, like multimedia has it in their calendar and you have it in your calendar, when you get to the 2nd, if Denise hasn't sent it yet, and so you have no report to put in, that's when you would write Denise Harp and say, hey, can you send it? And
Okay.
then yes, you can do the August one because we have rolled it out. You might not get too much data because like in order to do this, like we had 3 patients fill it out for us to test it. So we can still use that data. But if you get more, if it still only says 3 when Denise sends it, it means nobody's filled it out yet. It'll be more starting in October. So like October 1st or whatever the first day is. Let's see, what's the first day in October? The
Thursday.
first business day in October will be the 3rd. So on the 3rd, Denise should send it to you. So in your calendar on the 4th, you should be receiving that report. So, so you're going to then take that report and send it to Denise. And if you're finding that nobody's filled out this survey, still send it to Denise. And that's where Denise should hopefully contact me and be like, why hasn't anybody filled out this survey? Right? Because then we have to troubleshoot why patients are not filling it out. So, so that's more kind of troubleshooting that way. The other thing is, let's say you had this report, okay? And let's say you did this and you're like, oh no, where's the original report? Remember, that's why you always are going to have this raw data template. It's really important that you always have a blank one of these hanging around. And to create a new one, let's say you're like, oh, this was from last time and this information's wrong. So you can just literally delete it, delete this tab. And then here's this new raw data tab. I'm going to make a new one. So you click on move or copy. You make sure you create copy, and I'm going to stick it right. I want it to be right here. So I'll say, okay. As you can see, it's here. I'm going to move it to wherever maybe you do want it here, but I'm going to, for my case, I want it here. And I'm going to call it, I'll rename it maybe and call raw data. Maybe I'll call it August. Okay. And that'll be for you to use next time. So just make sure you remember, I didn't say that at first, but just make sure you remember to do that. And in these directions, I'll say transfer raw data into this tab. And I'll put a little hint here saying, make new tab. So like just to remind you, make new raw data tab. From template. that's where I picture there being a mistake. And if worse comes to worse and you forgot to do that and you go in and you're like, I have nothing, I don't know where the original one she did was, crap, right? So if that does happen, to troubleshoot, I have it here, right? So like I have this master for you here. You could always go here and just steal that and like copy the entire tab, okay?
Okay, but that master now doesn't say to be, I think it still will
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, let's fix that right now. So, so we said B2, not B1, which is supposed to be this. Okay, so then I fixed that there. What was the other thing that I changed about it?
You make a column a lot wider, and then that way the red was longer, and
Oh yeah,
was different.
This box keeps moving on me. The other thing that I said is to make sure raw data. So I'm going to go move or copy. I'm going to make another one. And we'll call this raw data. We called it template. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do that and I'll leave it even maybe right next to this other one. So that might help to remind you to create it. So I'll call this raw data. I'll rename it and call it raw data. Add date. So you could add the date. So then it's all there for you. I think there was something else I changed here too. I think this was all good. I don't think I changed anything here. I never changed anything here. Oh, I noticed I can't number things. I went 2, 3, 4. That should say 5. And then this should now say 6. So I just can't count. That's all I did. 6. It should be 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that should all be good to go. And like I said, the only other thing that seems to be weird about this, Michelle, is in this patient experience tab, when you add that raw data, like I said, like here's this one, we'll use this as an example. So like if I wanted to add this raw data again, right? What you'll notice is if I was going to add this to the actual report, it does this weird thing and I can't even tell you why, right? See how it even shows that little bit of green here?
Yeah.
But like you're like, oh, this formatting is not working. And look it's not formatted here. For some reason, if you click on any other tab and then go back, it's suddenly formatted correctly. Okay. And this only has, if you see these things, it doesn't mean you did something wrong. It's just because the row's not long enough. You just widen it up, kind of make it a little more pretty. Okay. One last thing to add. As you can see, you're like, oh, I already had this information. I don't need to add this information, right? So because I already had August. When you're doing your raw data, what I suggest, because in your raw data report, you're going to have some of my data. It's up. So when you open up your new next month, what I suggest you do is, because you're going to be adding all of the August raw data, I suggest that you actually start here and you actually delete this. Okay, because your report's going to have all of August. Okay,
right.
And when you add and transpose your raw data into this field, you might notice that some of this raw data says August. You're not, once you're in the month of September and you're trying to do September's report, you're not going to need the August data. You could like delete that. You only need the data that you need. To check that, I can show you how to do that real quick. Oh, I got to save this. Sorry. So now your master's all saved, all pretty and good. To check that in your raw data example, I'll show you, I'll save it here so you can remember which row it is. Because again, you can add all the data every time, but eventually you're going to have like 100 patient surveys, right? Mm-hmm. Right now it's easy because there's only a few. So I'll just show you how you find that information. So in this information, which is so messy and gross looking, This right here, I'll highlight it for you. This is the field, and I'll put a little note there. This is your date field. Okay, so this is the field that is used to generate that date. So if you widen it, you can see that these were all completed in August, right? So eventually in your this column D, this column that's called end date, that date will be like if you have all of these filled out and you want to pull only September or only like August or whatever the date is, you can just say, oh, I only need these dates. And you can highlight only those dates and only pull those dates. So that way you're not pulling everything every time.
Right. So when Denise sends it to me, she's sending me the whole collection of.
She'll send you the entire report, every single report. Yes. So eventually, right now that's easy, but eventually it'll be important to know that you can be selective of what you pull by only selecting the dates in question. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to save this so that you remember that, and you can click here. It says this is your date field. That'll help you to select your date. So I'll save this for you. So again, it's saved underneath your raw data example and under your master. Just know when Denise sends it, you won't have this pretty highlighted field, and you'll have to like make it bigger so that you can actually see the date. Okay, but it is there for you. Okay, so don't save it. The only other thing to note is I did, just as a quick FYI, because you might have this question, this information here, as you can see, all you can see is it says, my doctor asked me if I was faking my, right? And you'd be like, well, how's that going to be useful to Denise? Denise is going to get this report, and I've already gone through it with her. So she knows that she can either expand it, or she can like look up here, and she knows she can read the full information here no matter how long it is. Okay. So you can always look up here. So she already knows that. I said, Denise, do you want Michelle to like take these information fields and like put them in a separate report for you so you can read it really nice and clear? She says she doesn't need that. She's good with just clicking on these and looking at that right in the meeting. Okay. So she won't use a paper version. She'll use this version when she sends it to people. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
When you were doing the example with me, under negative feelings for one of them, you had the number, and then it said comma and then there was something else written there.
Yeah, so that's probably this one. Let me go to it. Where was it? It's because in the survey, I'll show you that in a second, but it was this. Okay, I think this is the one you're talking about. It says staff good, patient bad.
Was it in
not that one?
The example of the data? Like it was after where you had the 1 or 0, it actually had a comma and then a word beside it. No, it wasn't.
I erased it here. So let me,
maybe it wasn't the template. Maybe it was the other report.
Let me go back to here. Let me just, I'll just go like this right now. And here's the information's been pulled. So let me just make this big and you can point out what you want to point out. Which one was it?
No, it's not this report.
Oh, because I already filtered this one. Okay, let me just do this. I'll grab the whole original thing and just, it's not hard to do. Just bear with me a second. I'll grab all of them.
No, sorry, Sherry, that's not it either. You know where you were pasting the August next to the August on the report? The patient experience report? Can you
yes, yep.
So, but it wasn't this one. Is this your original?
Yeah, this is the original. I can go back to the original. This one was the very original master. Yep. Okay.
No, it wasn't that. When I click around, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. It was in the patient experience report.
I'm going to stop recording. Okay. I'm going to stop recording. I think you got enough recording.